It was a quiet evening when Maya sat on the hospital bench, holding her daughter's tiny hand. The machines beside the hospital bed beeped slowly. Her daughter, Zara, just 8 years old, lay motionless. Tubes were everywhere. Her little chest moved up and down, barely. Maya had not slept in 3 nights. Her eyes were red, her hands shaking. Doctors had done everything they could, but now they just gave sad looks and said the same thing. "We're sorry. There is no chance. You should prepare yourself." Maya didn't cry this time. She had cried too much already. But deep inside her, something whispered, "This is not over." The sudden sickness Zara was a happy, active child. Just 2 weeks ago, she was running in the garden, laughing and chasing butterflies. Then one morning, she woke up weak. She couldn't move her legs. She had a high fever. At first, they thought it was a small infection. But within 48 hours, Zara couldn't talk. She slipped into a coma. The hospital ran tests after tests, but the doctors were confused. Her brain was swelling. Her heart was weak. One by one, her organs started shutting down. "She's fading," one nurse whispered, but Maya didn't accept it. Not yet. No permission needed. Every night, Maya prayed by her daughter's side. She didn't use big words, just simple ones from the heart. "God, they said no chance. But you don't need permission to save her. Please, just one touch." Even when the doctors told her to start thinking about funeral plans, Maya said, "No, I will wait. My God is not finished." Her husband, Arjun, had stopped talking. He sat in silence, watching Zara, hoping for a miracle, but too afraid to say. At the day of the storm one night, the weather outside turned wild. Heavy rain hit the windows. Thunder roared. Power flickered. That evening, the head doctor came again. His face was serious, cold almost. "We've done all we can. The machines are only keeping her alive now. There's no brain activity. I suggest you say goodbye." Maya looked at him with tired eyes, but she didn't get up. She leaned close to Zara and whispered in her ear, "Baby, if you can hear me, come back. Just open your eyes. I know God can do it." The nurse in the room gave her a sad smile. "She can't hear you," she said gently. But Maya kept whispering, over and over again. The unexpected sign around 2 a.m., while the storm raged outside, Maya saw something strange. Zara's fingers twitched. She called the nurse. "It's probably just muscle movement," the nurse replied. But then it happened again. A finger moved. Then her eyelids fluttered. The machines began beeping, faster this time. More nurses rushed in. Then the doctor came, confused, looking at the monitor. This is not possible," he said. "Her brain was completely inactive yesterday." Zara's fingers moved again. Her lips trembled, and then, slowly, her eyes opened. Maya gasped. She fell to her knees and cried. "Thank you, God," she whispered. A slow return. Zara didn't speak right away. She just looked at her mother, then blinked. The doctors were shocked. They ran tests again. Her brain was active. Her heart was stronger. She was still weak, but she was alive. "It's a medical mystery," one doctor said. "It's a miracle," Maya replied. News spread in the hospital. Some nurses cried. Even the head doctor, who once said, "No chance," just shook his head and smiled. "I don't understand it," he said, "but I'm happy I was wrong." Zara's first words. 3 days later, Zara spoke her first words after waking up. "Mama, I saw light, and I saw someone smiling." Tears rolled down Maya's face. She kissed her daughter's forehead and whispered, "That was God, baby. He didn't need permission to bring you back." Zara smiled weakly. "I wasn't scared," she said. "I knew you were praying." Maya held her close, heart full. Faith over. Weeks passed. Zara slowly recovered. She had to learn to walk again, to eat on her own, but every day was better than the last. The hospital staff watched in amazement. "This child, she was gone," a nurse said. "And now she's laughing." People from other wards started visiting. They wanted to see the miracle girl. Some brought flowers, others brought prayers. One doctor came to Maya and said, "We study science, but sometimes something greater takes over. What happened here, it changed me." Maya nodded. "God doesn't need your permission," she said with a smile. "He just needs a reason." The world needs to know. 6 months later, Zara returned to school. She was slower than before, but her smile was brighter. Her story spread. A local newspaper wrote an article. When doctors said no, faith said yes. Many parents came to Maya. They cried and asked her how she stayed strong. She always gave the same answer. "Because I knew who I was talking to. I wasn't asking man. I was asking God." The hospital room was silent. Too silent. The only sound was the slow beep of the heart monitor beside Zara's bed. Maya hadn't moved from her chair in hours. Her eyes were fixed on her daughter's face. Zara still looked peaceful, but too still, too quiet. Outside, the sky turned dark. Rain began tapping on the windows, soft at first, then harder. A storm was coming. Inside, a storm had already arrived. In Maya's heart, let her go. At 9 p.m., the main doctor came back. His face looked serious but soft. He sat down next to Maya, lowering his voice. "Mrs. Sharma," he said, "I know you're tired. I know this is painful, but it's time to let her go." Maya looked at him, confused. "What do you mean?" He sighed deeply. "She's not in pain, but she's not coming back. Her brain has stopped working. We're only keeping her alive with machines now. It's kind to stop." Her heart stopped for a second. The doctor kept talking, but his words faded in her ears. "Let go? Give up?" "No," she whispered. "I will not stop hoping. God hasn't said no yet." The doctor gave a sad smile and left the room. Thunder in the sky, and in her soul. The storm outside grew stronger. Thunder crashed, lightning flashed against the window glass. But Maya didn't flinch. She placed her hand gently on Zara's arm. "Baby, do you hear the rain?" she whispered. "Mama's still here, and I'm not going anywhere." Then she knelt beside the bed, closed her eyes and prayed. "God, they said there is no chance. But you don't need their permission. You don't need their words. You are still able." She didn't cry. Her tears were finished. But her faith, that was still burning. Arjun's silence. Her husband, Arjun, stood quietly at the door. He hadn't spoken all day. His eyes looked tired, his face pale. He slowly walked over, sat beside Maya, and held her hand. "I'm scared," he said softly. "What if they're right?" Maya looked at him, then looked at Zara. "They might be right," she said, "but it doesn't matter. They are not God." Arjun nodded but said nothing. He just sat there, listening to the thunder and the slow beeping of their daughter's machine. A whisper in the darkness, it was 1:57 a.m. The storm outside was loud, but in the room everything was still. Maya was praying softly, head bowed, eyes closed. Then it happened. A tiny movement. Zara's finger twitched. Maya opened her eyes. She stared. Then it moved again. "Arjun, did you see that?" she cried out. He jumped up. "What?" Maya pointed. "Her hand! It moved!" They stared, holding their breath. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, ever so slightly, Zara's eyelids fluttered. "Call the nurse!" Maya hit the red emergency button. A nurse rushed in. What happened? She moved, Maya shouted. Her eyes, they blinked. The nurse looked at the monitor. It's probably just reflexes, she said. But then, Zara's lips moved. She didn't speak, but her mouth made a tiny motion, like trying to say something. It's real, Maya whispered. She's trying to come back. This is not possible. 2 more nurses rushed in. Then the doctor came. He looked at the machines, then at Zara. The heart rate was rising, just a little, but clearly. He picked up a flashlight, opened her eyelids gently, and checked her pupils. His eyes widened. Her brain is active, he said. Everyone stood silent for a moment. Then he turned to Maya. This is not possible. Maya looked at her daughter, then at the doctor, and said with quiet strength, I told you, my God doesn't need your permission. Zara's eyes opened for just a second, just one blink. But to Maya, it was more than just a blink. It was hope. The nurse checked again. The monitor beeped faster now. Zara's heart rate had improved. It was small, but real. The same doctors, who had said no chance, were now silent. The same nurses who had given up were now watching her closely. Maya stood beside the bed and whispered, Baby, if you're trying to come back, just keep fighting. Mama's right here. The medical confusion. The next morning, the head doctor came back with 2 other specialists. He looked tired. He had spent most of the night reviewing Zara's old reports. Her brain scans were flat 2 days ago, he told the team. Now we're seeing movement. This doesn't make sense. One of the younger doctors asked, Could it be a mistake in the machines? The head doctor shook his head slowly. No, the readings are real. He turned to Maya, almost whispering. I don't understand how, but something has changed. The first tear. That afternoon, something happened again. Maya was softly singing, a lullaby. The same one she used to sing when Zara was a baby. Suddenly, a small tear rolled down Zara's cheek. Maya stopped singing. She froze, then called out, Arjun? She's crying. Her husband ran to the bedside. His hands shook. He leaned in close, and then Zara's lips moved again. This time 2 tiny words came out, barely a whisper. Mama, Papa. Room froze, time stopped. Maya's hands covered her mouth. She dropped to her knees crying, but this time not in pain. This time she cried with joy. Arjun sat on the floor, stunned. He held Maya's shoulders and whispered. She spoke. She said our names. A nurse who walked in at that moment saw the scene and gasped. She ran out calling for help. More staff came rushing in. The test results doctors ordered immediate brain scans, blood tests, and physical checks. They were trying to understand how a girl with no brain activity just 48 hours ago was now speaking. Hours passed. The test results came back. Brain activity, returning. Heart rate, normalizing. Infection, reducing. The head doctor stared at the report. This is not recovery, he said. This is resurrection. Maya looked at him and smiled softly. I told you. God doesn't ask for permission. The question. Everyone asked in. The next few days, the news spread. Staff from other departments came just to see Zara. Is this the same girl? Wasn't she declared brain dead? What happened? One nurse whispered to another, This isn't medicine. This is a miracle. Even the hospital. Chaplain, who had prayed for many dying patients, said, I've never seen anything like this. Zara's eyes. Zara still couldn't talk much. Her voice was weak, her body tired. But her eyes were full of light. She followed Maya with her gaze. She smiled when Arjun kissed her forehead. She blinked twice when the nurse asked, Can you hear me? Every blink, every twitch, every breath, it was one more step away from death. One more answer to a mother's prayer. Doctors finally admit. A few days later, the head doctor walked into Maya's room. He had a clipboard in his hand and a look of defeat on his face, but this time it wasn't the sad kind. "Mrs. Sharma," he said, "we've reviewed everything. There is no medical explanation for your daughter's recovery." He paused, looked her in the eyes, and said quietly, "Maybe. Your faith did what our science couldn't. The sun shone through the way." Hospital window. It was the first time in days that Maya noticed the sky. Inside the room, Zara was sitting up, weak, tired, but awake. Her eyes were bright. Her small hands gripped the bed rail as if trying to hold on to the world again. The girl who had once been silent was now whispering full sentences. "Mama, I had a dream," she said softly. "There was light, and I heard your voice." Maya's eyes filled with tears. She held her daughter's hand tightly and whispered back, "That wasn't a dream, baby. That was hope pulling you back." The first time she stood, a week later, the physical therapist arrived. She was gentle but firm, a kind woman named Priya. "Zara," she said, smiling, "today we try something special, standing." Zara blinked slowly. She looked nervous but nodded. Her muscles were weak. Her legs trembled. With support from both sides, she tried to lift herself up. Once, failed. Twice, failed. Third time. She rose, slowly, shaking, but standing. The whole room burst into soft applause. Maya clapped with her hands over her mouth. Arjun's eyes were full of tears. "You're doing it, sweetheart," Maya said. "You're walking into your miracle." Media begins to notice. That same week, something unexpected happened. A nurse posted a short message online. "Little girl at our hospital came back from brain death. Doctors said no chance. But now, she's standing." The post went viral. Reporters began calling the hospital. Some wanted proof. Some wanted to know the science. One reporter asked the head doctor directly, "Is this a real miracle?" He replied honestly, "Medically, I have no answers, but I saw the scans. I gave the diagnosis, and I saw the same girl walk today." Zara's words touched the world. Zara was getting stronger. Each day she spoke a little more. One morning, a reporter was allowed to meet her. Just a short talk. He asked her gently, "Do you remember anything from the time you were asleep?" Zara thought for a moment. Then she smiled and said, "I saw a light, and I felt warm. I heard Mama's prayers like music. I wasn't scared. I knew I had to come back." The reporter was silent. That quote appeared in the newspaper the next morning. The headline read, "A mother's voice brought me back, says little Zara." The doctor's change, the same doctor who had once told Maya to let go, stood quietly near Zara's bed one evening. He watched her smile. He watched her draw little hearts on paper. Finally, he spoke. "I don't say this easily," he began, "but I want to thank you." Maya looked at him, surprised. "Why?" He took a breath and said, "Because your faith taught me something my science didn't. Sometimes belief sees further than the eyes can." Maya's silent promise. Later that night, when everyone had left and Zara was asleep, Maya sat alone, by the window. She looked up at the stars and whispered, "God, thank you. You didn't need permission from doctors, from science, from anyone. You just needed me not to give up." She promised something in her heart. "I will never forget. And I will tell the world what you did." The hospital doors slid open slowly. Zara sat in a wheelchair, wrapped in a pink blanket. Her little hand held Maya's tightly. After weeks inside those walls, she was finally going home. But something unexpected was waiting outside. Cameras, microphones, reporters. Is this the miracle girl? Can you tell us what happened? Did you really die and come back? Maya's eyes narrowed. She wrapped her arms around Zara and whispered, "Don't be afraid, just look at me." Arjun stepped forward and guided them through the flashing lights. He said only 2 words. No comments. Peace inside. Pressure. Outside, their home was filled with flowers, cards, and gifts from strangers. Some messages were kind. Your story gave us hope. We prayed with you every day. But others were not. Some people accused Maya of lying. Some said it was a media stunt. Some even called to ask for proof of Zara's death. Maya turned off the phone. She closed the curtains. All she wanted now was silence and time to love her daughter. Zara's strange dream returns one quiet night. Zara sat up in bed. She was looking at the corner of the room. Maya turned the light on. "What is it, baby?" Zara said in a soft voice. "The man in white is back. He told me I'll be fine, but he also said, someone will try to use me." Maya froze. "What do you mean, use you?" Zara didn't answer. She lay back down, already falling asleep. Maya sat beside her, holding her breath. Doctors want her for research. The next day, Maya got a call from the hospital. A different team of doctors, international ones, wanted to meet Zara. "We believe your daughter may be the key to understanding something new, something we've never seen before," Maya asked. "What kind of research?" "We want to study her brain, her immune system, even her memories. If we can understand her case, we might save more lives." But Maya felt uneasy. Zara wasn't. A project. She was her daughter. A gift, not a subject. A hard decision. That night, Maya and Arjun sat in silence. Arjun finally asked, "What if the doctors are right? What if Zara really could help others?" Maya whispered. "I want to help the world, but not if it hurts our daughter. She's still healing. She's still so small." They decided to wait. They wouldn't say no forever. But for now, Zara needed protection, not pressure. Zara's words. Go viral despite everything. One small video changed everything again. Maya had recorded a short moment, Zara smiling and saying, "I was gone, but Mama called me back." She didn't post it, but someone from the hospital did. The video exploded online. Millions of people shared it, commented, cried, and soon a message appeared on Maya's phone from a famous reporter. "We don't want to ask questions, we just want to tell the world what faith can do." The living room was quiet. Zara sat in her favorite chair, hugging a small teddy bear. Across from her sat Maya, nervous, holding a glass of water in shaking hands. The cameras were ready. The lights were hot, and a soft-spoken reporter named Rena leaned forward and said, "Zara, millions of people want to hear from you. Just tell us what you remember." Zara looked into the camera, then turned to Maya. Her voice was soft but steady. "I was not sleeping. I was in a place with no time, no pain. There was light and peace. And I saw Mama's tears." Rena gently asked, "And then?" Zara whispered, "A man in white touched my hand and said, 'Your mother's love is louder than the silence. Go back. You are not finished yet.'" The internet explodes. That small clip, just 30 seconds long, went viral in less than an hour. People across the world cried, shared, and prayed. Even those who didn't believe in God wrote, "I can't explain it, but I believe her." This little girl reminded me what hope feels like. But not everyone was kind. Some said she was trained to say those things. Others claimed the video was fake. One man wrote, "There's no miracle, just clever editing," but Maya didn't respond. She had no time for hate, only healing. An old friend returns. The next evening, Maya heard a knock at the door. When she opened it, her heart skipped a beat. Standing there was Anjali, her childhood friend, now a doctor herself. They hadn't spoken in years. "Anjali?" Maya whispered. Anjali smiled softly. "I saw the interview. I had to come." Maya hugged her tight, unable to hold back tears. "You believed her?" Maya asked. Anjali nodded. "I've spent my life studying medicine, but after watching Zara speak, I finally understood what belief looks like." A secret revealed later. That night, after Zara had fallen asleep, Anjali sat with Maya in the kitchen. She looked nervous. "Maya," she said slowly, "I didn't just come to visit." Maya raised an eyebrow. Anjali continued. "I spoke to some researchers. They've seen Zara's medical file. They think her recovery is not just rare, it's impossible." Maya stayed silent. Then Anjali added, "One of them said, 'We're not looking at science. We're looking at something sacred.'" Maya took a deep breath and said, "That's exactly what I've been trying to tell them." A letter from a stranger. The next morning, a handwritten letter arrived at Maya's home. It had no name, no return address. Inside was just one sentence. "Your child gave me a reason to live again. Thank you." Maya held the letter close to her heart. Zara walked in, rubbing her eyes, and asked, "Was that from the man in white?" Maya froze. "What man, sweetie?" Zara smiled. "The one who keeps visiting in my dreams. He says his work isn't done yet." It was late evening. Zara sat on the living room floor, drawing with colored pencils. Maya sat nearby, reading a letter in silence. It was from a major publisher. They wanted to turn Zara's story into a book. The title, "The Girl Who Came Back." The offer was big: money, interviews, a world tour. But Maya didn't smile. She looked at Zara and thought, she's just a little girl, not a story, not a brand. Strange things began to happen. That same week, something unusual started. Zara's room had become quiet, too quiet. And at night, a warm light would glow softly around her bed. Maya thought it was the night lamp, until she saw it turn on by itself. Then, one morning, Zara calmly said, "Mama, the man in white said he left something with me." "What did he leave?" Maya asked. Zara placed her small hand over her heart. "A light, but it's not just for me." Visitors start coming. Soon, people began arriving at Maya's house. Not reporters, not doctors, just ordinary people. Mother carrying a sick baby. An old man in a wheelchair. A woman who hadn't spoken in months. They all said the same thing. "We don't want fame. We just want to sit near Zara, just for a moment." At first, Maya didn't understand. But then, one visitor said, "When I sat near her, I felt peace, like I was standing near something holy." Zara's quiet. Power Zara never said much to the visitors. She would just smile, hold their hands, and sometimes whisper something only they could hear. One woman who couldn't walk suddenly stood up. A man who hadn't smiled in years left with tears in his eyes and laughter in his heart. Maya stood in the corner, watching everything. It was real, but it was also terrifying. "How can I protect her?" Maya whispered to herself, "when something bigger than me is happening?" A warning in the dark. That night, Maya had a dream. In it, she was standing in Zara's room. The man in white appeared, but his face wasn't clear. He said one sentence: "What was given can also be taken, if used for pride instead of purpose." Maya woke up gasping. Zara, half asleep beside her, whispered, "Don't worry, Mama. I know what the dream meant. We can't let the world change what came from above." The sky was cloudy. Zara sat quietly, drawing circles on the foggy window with her finger. Maya stood in the kitchen, staring at a letter in her hand. It wasn't from a reporter or a fan. It was from a government agency. "We've been following your daughter's story. We request a private evaluation. Transport will arrive tomorrow." Maya's heart sank. They weren't asking. They were telling a choice. No mother wants Maya had seen it before, how powerful people twist miracles. They didn't care about faith. They cared about control. That night, she packed a small bag. She held Zara close and whispered, "We may have to leave." Zara nodded quietly. "I know. The man in white told me this would happen," Maya asked, trembling. "What did he say we should do?" Zara answered, "He said, a gift from heaven should never be owned by earth." The disappearance. The next morning, black cars arrived outside Maya's house, but the house was empty. No sign of Maya, no sign of Zara. Only a single note was left behind. "She was never yours to study. She was a message. You missed it." News spread fast. Some said they ran. Some said they were hiding. But others believed something greater happened. Years later, a woman stood at a small orphanage in a quiet village. She was older now, hair streaked with gray, but her eyes still held fire. She taught the children about hope and love and silent miracles. Sometimes she told them a story. Once a doctor said there was no chance, but God doesn't need permission to write a new ending. The children loved the story, especially the part where the little girl came back from death. They'd always ask, "Was that girl real?" The woman would smile gently and say, "Yes, she was more real than anything." Zara's legacy. No one ever saw Zara again, but stories began to appear. A sick child healed after dreaming of a girl in pink. An old man saw a light during surgery and swore he heard her voice. And in every story, the same sentence returned. "I was gone, but someone called me back." Zara had disappeared from the world, but she had entered hearts.